I had to replace that tonight and cook cookies at the same time. So I was trying to run back and forth and get back here in time for the call.
It's a pretty good excuse.
It sounds like dad stuff. Sounds like you're a maid or something, a housewife.
A little bit of both.
What kind of cookies?
Chocolate chip.
Attaboy.
All right, I'll just go through matchups real quick, and then we can look at the standings and then the top scoring players. So I beat Chris. I was nervous for a second there, but yeah, Pat came through. Austin beat Evan, 65. Is that the lowest score? Is that lower than what you've had, Reid?
I checked. Reid dropped 61 a few weeks back.
No one's taking my title. Not this week, though.
See, you're probably safe there. Tom beat Siggy. Ehi with probably the upset of the week, beating Bradley. And then, I guess actually Reid over Riley's probably the upset of the week. Although I feel like Reid and Riley were both speaking that into existence even last week. Okay. So standings: Bradley's still in first. Austin's second. I got third. Tom's fourth. Fourth in what has the most points scored, which is kind of crazy. Reid, and then the other conference: Ehi, Siggy, Riley, Evan, and Chris. But yeah, this AFC's the top four. I mean, by the end, I don't know. Ehi will probably have a better record. But yeah, this top four here is pretty crazy.
Yeah, you hate to see that we have so many of the top scorers on our side of the league over here. Then the other division must be nice to be on that side. That's what I'll say. He's getting pushed by nobody.
It is, right? Hey, good thing though. Half my team's been hurt the entire season, so I deserve a pass.
I was told that wasn't an excuse. I was told that that's fantasy football, so I don't want to hear it.
All right, we can get into the positions real quick. So Lamar, Herbert, right? Matt Ryan's I feel like his ranking is 16. I don't know, for some reason it seems like he does better than that most weeks, but I guess not.
When he has a bust week, it's a bust.
Yeah, I guess 9 points. I guess I have Cordero and he's consistent, so it seems like I don't know.
I heard a stat today that over the last 2 weeks, Jimmy Garoppolo is the highest scoring quarterback.
It could be.
He is.
30 and 20.
Depending on your format, but
Only
a lot of the really good
27.
quarterbacks were either out or had a bye in the last 2 weeks. So.
Oh yeah, Lamar had a bye. What Herbert had. Running backs: James Conner. He just scores touchdowns.
He's going to be pretty good, especially with Edmonds out a few weeks at least.
Yeah, Tom's team is really, really good.
It's just so deep. It really sets him up for when he has things like that break for him, then he's in a really good spot.
Yeah. Chubb, Mixon, Hines came through for Reid. That was funny watching that Thursday night.
We got 2 Reids in this map.
Yeah.
Gosh, one was enough.
Smith. Man, look at these top 5. What the?
Who's this cat from Dallas? I'd never heard of him before.
And Turner. What's his name? Malik Turner.
EJ Dallas.
I've never heard of this guy.
He just had touchdowns. I mean,
Oh,
Oh, he had 2 tutties.
so I cut out there for a little bit. I didn't realize I had the top 2 receivers. It's kind of funny.
Didn't realize.
This was such a low scoring week. Like in every league I was in, like it didn't matter what settings you had. Like that was just all across the board. Unless your name was Reid, your team struggled.
Setting team highs out here. I
Reid,
should have dropped over 150 if I would have started Fields.
Was this your highest score of the year, Reid, in a week?
Yeah. I think I might have scored 120 one other time, like early on, when I beat Tom.
You beat Tom. That's funny.
Tight ends, Pat, the Muse, whatever, Baby Gronk, whatever nickname.
Take Chenault back.
It was good to see that this week, like all the good tight ends were chalk up top. Which I mean, like before Friday we played, it was 1, 2, 3 Kittle, Kelsey, Waller. So hopefully they can get back on track of showing that they're the top.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially for Tom, like Kittle putting this might be his best week.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
If Kittle gets going, I mean, shoot. Good luck to anyone facing Tom.
Yeah, I've been telling you, his team is not to be messed with.
Yeah.
So no one decided to inform me when I made my playoff predictions weeks ago that I picked 4 people in the same division. So it looks like those 4 teams might end up being the best teams depending on what Ehi does. But, like, someone's got to come out of that other division.
Right. Somebody's got to come out of the AFC East, so.
Yep. It's going to be the Buffalo Bills.
All right, we can just get into the matchup.
Except the NFC East, that's probably been better.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going.
But they're playing a little better this year. You gonna dive into the first matchup, Collin?
Yeah, unless there's.
Before we get into that, though, I did check on Joe Burrow today. He is still a top 10 quarterback, but that's just because he hasn't had his bye, and a lot of the other people have. So once he has his bye this week, we'll see where he's sitting.
Are you guys going based off of Dynasty scoring or redraft scoring?
I guess we didn't clarify, but Collin probably assumed Dynasty, so that's what I would assume.
Yeah, I did.
Real quick before I forget, how do you guys feel about the points for first down thing? I think that's whack.
It's just an added dimension. Like it's not really that big of a deal, honestly.
Yeah,
no, but there's like some close. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Riley.
No, I was just gonna say I don't think it's that big of a deal either. What is it? Like 0.25? Yeah, okay.
2.5. Yeah, but there's like some close matchups. Because like it seems like every week we'll have like 1 or 2 that's decided by like a few points, a couple points, and especially like receivers. You know, like a lot of their catches are gonna be like for first downs and stuff like that. And I mean, I just think it's kind of dumb. I mean, like you guys said, it's not a big a deal, but it can affect the matchup. But I just don't see the point of it. I don't see any reason why you should get more points for a first down offense. But I was just curious, anyways.
Is that first downs just this week, Collin?
Yeah, actually, I mean that's for Herbert. That's 4.5 points. That's
quarterbacks too, especially.
That's where you see the biggest difference is quarterbacks. But I mean, let's say Herbert has 4. Let's say you started Patrick Mahomes, you got 9, so he got like 2 more points than Mahomes off first downs. Like, it's very, very minuscule when you look at it side by side, and that's a good game versus a bad game.
Yeah. But like I said, there's like matchups every week that are decided by 2-3 points. You know, but I mean, it's not that big a deal. I just think the principle of it is dumb, but that's just me.
Take it up with the commish.
Yeah.
Wherever
talk about that. Siggy and Ethan went out tonight, so that's where they're at.
Siggy and Ethan.
I mean, I'll speak about my team, I guess. Yeah, Burrow's had multiple touchdowns in every week except this week, so that's where it hurt him because he had the yards. Obviously, interceptions hurt, but yeah, just no touchdowns. Eckler, not as many receptions, no touchdowns. It was really I just didn't have a lot of touchdowns this week. Henderson didn't have any. Jefferson had one, but Devo didn't have any. Kelsey had, okay, I guess the tight ends helped that. Patterson didn't have any, but he still puts up because.
Yeah, that double tight end start for you, Collin, was huge. Like, if you'd have started somebody else, you probably would have lost. Like, I guess,
Yeah.
because I was thinking, I was kind of shocked you didn't start Javonte and you sat him. I guess even if you did start Javonte, you would have won, but it'd have been real.
Yeah, against Dallas, I thought they'd get down pretty quick and then kind of in the run.
Right.
But quite the opposite.
Dude, I swear Chris is right there every matchup, and his team just like cannot pull out a win. Every week I feel like I'm waiting for him to get win number 3, and he just doesn't do it.
And like how he's just like frozen. He's just standing pat. He's not like trying to sell older guys. He's not, I don't know what he just likes chilling. He likes leaving his team as is, which I respect. But
he declines 2 offers of mine every week.
Yeah, I mean Ceedee's. I mean he's 14, but he's kind of, or I guess that's in standard. In PPR he's 17.
Yeah, he's been.
What were you about to say? He's underperforming.
I would say so. He drafted
the thing
him.
about Ceedee is he has so much hype behind his name right now. Like, he's honestly not playing anywhere near where people are valuing him at, which is really tough because he's so young and he has so much talent. But the way Dallas is playing, it's really just not. You're not getting like top 10 numbers from a top 10 receiver numbers, let alone top 10 fantasy numbers, regardless of position. And that's kind of where he's being valued at right now. So it's not really adding up.
Yeah, I guess I get he had 3 good weeks before this week, but I was thinking of in Chris's case, he just can't get consistency from all his guys in 1 week.
Right. There are a lot of guys that they rely on touchdowns to be fantasy relevant. So if they're not getting their touchdowns, it's going to be a rough week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Thielen's still just there in Chris's lineup, but
we won't trade him down either.
Odell's interesting.
Yeah, I was getting ready to bring him. That's what I was going to bring up. What do you think he's worth right now?
Are we assuming he goes to the Packers?
With the assumption that we don't know where he's going.
Oh, well, then I don't think he really has value. Or like, I don't think anyone's trading him this second. I don't think anyone's trading for him this second.
I would say about like $5. So Chris, if you're listening, I'll give you a 3rd rounder for him. And that's a gross overpay.
I offered him something last week, like a 3rd rounder, and then I think it was Scantling, but he declined.
Interesting.
But that's much.
Like would you get if you had a late second? Do you think he's worth that?
I think he's about worth a late second, depending on what team he goes to.
If he goes to Green Bay, definitely.
He's somehow 29, which is crazy because I feel like he's like been in the league for 4 years, but he has a lot of. I mean, you can't say he doesn't have talent. He does. It's just a matter if he can have chemistry with the quarterback.
Yeah. An opportunity.
Right. I mean, I think wherever he goes, they'll get him targets if they can get chemistry. Like, it doesn't even matter where he goes, unless it's to Houston or something stupid like that. But I mean, I think whoever ends up picking him up, it's just going to be how he gels with the organization. I saw headline come across earlier. I think they said there were 4 teams that were pretty interested. I think it was Packers, Saints, Patriots, and Chiefs were the 4 main ones that I've heard so far.
I'd say Packers and Saints. Like he could have decent value.
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna say Saints too. They'll be now that they don't have a quarterback really, because like even if they start playing Taysom Hill, I mean he's not the best thrower obviously, so I don't know about that, but
right.
But I would be intrigued to see him on the Packers. That would be like my most intriguing spot for him. But then also the Patriots too, just because Bill and see what Matt can do with an actual receiver, and he would be like the bona fide number 1 like no questions asked on that team, so that'd be interesting.
Reid kind of brought up an interesting point a couple of weeks ago in our group chat. We were talking about some of the receivers the Patriots have got over the years, and he really would fit that mold of like a late in their career superstar that we'll see how much he has left in the tank. And it's a little bit of a PR nightmare, but if he has the talent, it might be worth it.
Yeah, they had.
My thing with Odell going to the Packers is I think he has valued like a contender. We'll say like a late second or whatever. But beyond that, there's really not a value there because who knows where he's going to end up. I'm assuming wherever he signs, it'll be a 1-year deal. But if he does sign a multi-year deal with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be there next year. And then he's just going to run himself out of that situation all over again.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he'll probably be in a 1-year. He'll probably just sign a rest of the year deal and then kind of reevaluate in the offseason. With so many quarterbacks moving, he wants to be. I mean, he's only got a couple years left in the league, so he wants to be in a spot where he can get the ball and get one more deal. I think before he has to get out of the league.
You turn your camera on.
I'm getting ready. As soon as the Zoom call's over, I'm going downtown. So I'm doing some things around the.
I feel like this is every week.
It
gets turned on Tuesdays. What's the special on Tuesdays in Clemson, huh?
There's a trivia at 10 p.m.
Collin, before we jump down to that next matchup, I was going to ask you about Antonio Brown. Are you worried about the reports that he might be out a little bit longer than expected, or have you heard anything different? I've heard he might be out like another few weeks.
I mean, I just read this thing that he was still in his boot, which, it's not a good thing. He's listed as questionable, which is like if he's still in a boot, why I feel like he'd be out. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not worried because I have McLaurin. Like McLaurin would be on my bench if Brown wasn't or was to play, but since if Brown doesn't play, I'll just start McLaurin. So.
What, you bench McLaurin for Brown?
Yes, I would.
Wow. Yeah. I'll give you a third rounder for McLaurin if that's what.
No, he's not benched because he's bad. He's benched because Brown's good when he plays.
Yeah.
And
damn, that target share. I heard McLaurin was like about half his way to Lucky 7 Dynasty this week. The rumor mill. Adam Schefter reports. Sources say.
Yeah, we talked about something, but didn't work out.
Him being 26 is just so wild to me. I would have guessed 24, 25 at the absolute oldest. And I get he just turned 26, but that's crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah, he's old when he graduated.
Like, I think Juju's only, 24 yet or something like that?
Yeah, 23, 24 or something like that.
It was just, he was a 5-year guy at Ohio State, but it is crazy with him and Juju. Because Juju was in the league before him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. Oh, actually, one thing I wanted to just show, because I just think this is insane with Terry, wide receiver. I want to do all the leagues. So this is contested targets. So Terry's number 1 with 33. Yeah, he's got a lot. I mean, they're just force feeding him the ball, obviously, and 57%, 57%. That's pretty good on that high volume. T. Higgins is second, which I thought was interesting. 32.
I believe that guy has such a hard time getting open for how good he is. It feels like every time Joe throws him the ball, there's someone right there.
I know. Yeah, obviously you watch all the games, same as me, and I thought he'd be better this year than he has been. But I just thought that was kind of crazy, the difference.
It's not even close. I mean, it's huge difference there.
Yeah.
Probably because it comes down to the fact that Washington has no other receiver or a threat of any kind in the passing game. I guess McKissick is probably their best option outside of him.
Ayuk being 21 on that list is interesting because I didn't think that guy was getting targets at all, let alone contested targets.
Oh yeah, he's got 13.
Maybe that's just like all
contested.
his targets.
I know.
That's why he's not
Yeah, 'cause he
catching them.
can't
They're all
get open,
contested.
so.
Yeah, it's like a third of his targets, which is. I guess it's not. I mean, Terry, about the same percentage. So. Yeah, that is interesting.
Shanahan said you have to start catching contested ones before we let Jimmy throw you open ones.
There we go.
Austin, I'll let you talk about this.
Oh god. So this was my lowest score of the season by far. But luckily I had the easiest matchup of the week playing Evan. So thank you, Evan.
By
for
far.
pooping in your big boy pants. Yeah, this week it was just bad all around. McCaffrey came back, which was a good sign. My receivers were held in check. I do think I might have found my new starting tight end though. Dan Arnold is just he is. I think he's leading the. I think no, he's second since he came to the Jaguars. He's second on the team in targets, which is pretty astonishing considering some of the other people they have there, and he's just a tight end that really wasn't supposed to do that great. So he's definitely helping me out a little bit. We'll definitely take that. But yeah, I guess we didn't. I don't know if you brought it up earlier while the recording was happening, but we didn't make the big trade this morning with Ehi and I. I sent Dak and DeAndre Hopkins away, and a third-round pick in 2024 for Mahomes and Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. So that'll be an interesting trade to look back on as we come back and look at this maybe in a year or so. We'll see. Hopefully Hopkins is retired and Mahomes is back to being the GOAT.
Hopefully Dallas defense goes back to being crap and Dak just has to put up 40 points just to win.
Yeah, we can talk about like each of us. So I said this to Austin and Ehi, but I definitely like Ehi's like outcome, I guess. Just I mean Hopkins is good now, and yeah, who knows? I don't know how long he has, but he's pretty good and consistent now. And I think Dak, I mean, he's still a really good dynasty quarterback. I know Mahomes is obviously better, but like for Austin, I don't know. I don't trust Lockett. I know you said you do, but I don't. I feel like he might have. What was that, Reid?
He says he's better than Debo.
He trusts Lockett. I get it. He'll have his big weeks, I'm sure, but he's gonna have some duds.
Yeah, I mean that's what I need from him though at this point. So I mean, kind of looking at the deal from my perspective, I've been shopping Hopkins for like 2 weeks and I wasn't getting anything of value for him. So I know that as soon as a wide receiver's age turns to 30, he's worth nothing. So if I didn't sell him pretty soon, because I assume here, if I'm looking at it in the offseason, by the time he plays next year, he's going to be 30. So people don't really want him. Like nobody's giving Chris anything for Adam Thielen right now, and he's 1 year older. He's 31. So I really just wanted to sell him while I still could, especially with the fact that Russ is back this week. So and they're off their bye, so they don't have any. Lockett should be plug and play for me every single game the rest of the year, unless something crazy happens. But I do trust me some Tyler Lockett. I think that he's definitely going to have some boom bust games, but with the other people in my lineup, getting Mahomes just adds another level of ceiling to my team that I didn't have.
Yeah, from my perspective, you know, even if Ridley wasn't out indefinitely, I still just kind of like the fact of having you know, the receiving core of Ridley, Evans, and Hopkins going forward, at least the next few years while I try to compete and win a championship. I know Austin mentioned the age; he's about to turn 30. I did just see though, I didn't realize that last week was his only third missed game of like his entire career, which is wild.
Right.
Yeah, so I saw that. But yeah, no, even I like the group of Evans, Ridley, and Hopkins going forward over the next few years, along with Chubb and Barkley, arguably two RB1s, and then Darren Waller, arguably the second best tight end. And then, as Collin mentions, I still find Dak as a very good fantasy quarterback. And then hopefully I could just kind of play around in my flex spots with Fournette, Julio, Galladay, etc. So I don't know. I had no intentions of ever trading Mahomes, but somehow Austin weaseled him away from me. So here we are. So we'll see what happens going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of just thinking about the fact of of any point since Mahomes has taken over the starting job, this is probably his lowest value ever, I think, since he's taken over the job. And I don't think it's going to be anything long term at all. I think it's just going to be an adjustment for him. So I think once he figures out how to play against the cover 2 defense and he has the patience to do it, then he should be fine. So I just really don't think that if Mahomes bounces back this week and drops 40, there's no way that he's selling him. This is the very slim buy window that you have for Mahomes. I try to take advantage of it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm surprised you even offered what you did because I feel like a week or two ago you wouldn't have. But
right, I mean, because I
probably wouldn't have accepted, honestly. So that's funny how that dynamic works.
I think I actually asked you early in the year what it would take for a Mahomes, and I think you said something along the lines of Dak and Jones or Zeke. So for me to be able to give Hopkins instead of one of those two, that's beneficial in my eyes, just because I don't have any other running back depth, so I couldn't really deal one of those two. But I feel like having he'll be able to cover me.
Gotcha. No, I feel that.
That's probably enough on our team in that trade, though.
No, I want to. So hold up. I do want to talk about it a little bit. But first, are you worried about Jamar Chase now that he has a case of the dropsies again?
Oh,
is he on the trade market?
I think if anything, his contested catch percentage is looking a little bit worse than Terry's. That's about it. It's not clear drops out here. Come on.
Oh no, a couple of them. Collin will tell you. A couple of them are pretty.
Case of the dropsies. You better trade him.
I'll show you. I've already looked at this. He is tied for second drops. I mean, drop rate is obviously more important.
Wait, Debo was number 1 in 9?
Devo is number 1.
Damn. And it's still performing the way he is.
Jamar Chase all the way down to 15. He can't even find him.
Yeah, he's
right by
there.
Bengal Great Mohamed Sanu.
You don't say anything about AJ Brown, so I'm not. Justin Jefferson's right there too.
Yeah, AJ Brown's hands kind of sus, low key. I mean, he's still a beast though, so it doesn't matter.
Jay Jets is right there. I'm not worried about it, unless Collin is, and then I'll take Jefferson from him.
No, I was just playing.
On the trade though, I can't bring myself to like it for either side. I looked at that
Typical
trade.
Reid answer.
It was I kind of think they both lost here. From Ehi's perspective, I think in a vacuum, Ehi probably got the better hand. I don't know if I would have given that for Mahomes. But
you also don't know if you would have took it for Mahomes.
Ehi, well, you invested a first-round pick in him with the idea that this would be your guy for a decade, right? And would it have been a decade? Probably not. But
you don't think so?
To already sell him so quickly, that surprised me. And for a price that it really wasn't, you knew you overdrafted him in the first round, but it was because you wanted him and he was your guy.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, I didn't like it for you. On an Austin's perspective, that was a lot to give up for him, and I don't think it makes a lot of sense to make room for Lockett to be a starter for a guy who is trying to win a championship this year. But I also understand, though, that if Dak and DeAndre Hopkins were inserted on my team, and like Austin was saying, he tried to shop them around, and Hopkins' value on the trade market was lower than what it actually should have been. So you kind of have to take what you can get. If Dak and DeAndre were on my team, I probably would have done that trade for Mahomes. So yeah, a lot of moving pieces there in consideration. I'm surprised that ended up.
That's Reid being a politician. His mouth's moving, but he's saying a whole lot of nothing.
I don't like it for either team. I think it would have been better off just not happening. For both.
So
I
you
thought that
think
was great.
Go ahead, Brad.
so you think that was too much to give up for Mahomes?
I think that, yeah, like the quarterback isn't really the difference between Dak and Mahomes is not DeAndre Hopkins, who's still an elite wide receiver in my eyes.
Yeah, I guess.
I think you could
I mean-
almost make the argument that DeAndre Hopkins is worth Mahomes. I think you can make that argument. Now, I think Mahomes is worth more, but then we're going to throw another, top 6 quarterback onto it. It's a little much.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Hopkins' stats, though, he hasn't had a double-digit target game all year. He's really just been staying afloat based on touchdowns. I think he's like top 5 in the league in touchdowns. So
I also think that's
if he doesn't,
sustainable.
yeah, right. So if he doesn't keep that touchdown rate up, then he's definitely not going to be a top 12 receiver.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. Anything else? We talked a lot about the trade. Is there anything on specific players here? We just won't talk about Evan.
It's really just been everybody that was supposedly like a top player in redraft coming into the year. Almost everyone has been a disappointment. Like no matter who, like if you had McCaffrey, if you had Dalvin Cook, Mahomes, Josh Allen, like every respective top player at their position.
Henry, now that he's
underperforming. Yeah,
even though he was very much performing.
but it's a weird year in fantasy.
Yeah, I feel like Henry and Zeke have like performed well. Although Zeke these last 2 weeks not as much. But yeah, Henry going down affects his.
Right. It's just been a super weird year.
All right, I'll go to the next one. We'll just do this one since even though neither of them are here. Tom's
That's
team's really
unfortunate for
good.
Siggy. Siggy was the second highest this week.
Yeah.
Wasn't too happy, but Tom destroyed him though. It wasn't close, really.
Right.
But
Yeah, Tom just
that's
across the board. I mean, you don't really see any weak spots, and he's got the depth. So, yeah, whoever has to play him if he makes the playoffs, we better hope not. But whoever has to play him, look out.
He's got another matchup versus me here in a couple weeks. I'll knock him down a peg.
If you beat him again, Reid, holy crap.
That'd be hilarious.
It'd be awesome.
I'd be pretty mad.
I don't know. I actually was reading a little bit today. Apparently, the Saints were looking into bringing in a couple of the running backs. They didn't say Kamario was hurt in the game, but I'm thinking he might be a little bit hurt based on the fact that they're trying to bring in a couple backups. What I was reading.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter. Apparently, I think it was his like shin or ankle or something. I forget where I saw that, but so he must have got hurt somehow.
Did Mark Ingram get any run on Sunday?
I think he had between 5 to 10 carries, but he also had 5 receptions. So he got decent.
Oh, really?
Mark Ingram's a solid depth piece right now. I
back on the Saints, I agree.
From last week in preparation for the matchup versus Riley. So I think I'll have a decent rest of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at, his snap percentage pretty much in the 80s, and then last 2 weeks, 67, 68. So that's might be a little telling to them wanting to calm down on his just volume, I guess.
I'll tell you what, Mixon has got to have one of the most. He's scoring so many touchdowns right now. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 9 touchdowns through 9 games.
Well, that's no James Conner.
That's actually I hadn't even noticed that. I'll be honest, from Mixon.
He just keeps adding. He's had 4 touchdowns the last 2 weeks, which is helpful.
Yeah, that's facts, Reid. He's like leading the league in touchdowns? That's just like something that pisses you off unless you own him.
James Conner.
Yeah.
When Breece Hall goes there and replaces both him and Edmonds, it's going to be magic.
Oh, that would be nice for the Cardinals. It's got to be bad.
I had it 10.
He has the highest rushing grade? Or would you touch? I was gonna say.
Touchdowns. Well, this is just rushing James Robinson.
Tony Pollard, Joe Mixon.
Good thing Evan's not on the call. We'd have to hear a rant on Tony Pollard right there. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. Everyone's hating on him, man.
Is he still an RB3?
I think he fell to the RB4 range.
You can't brag about that.
Moore. Okay, I do want to bring up Moore. Holy crap, he's like first 4 weeks was super good, and then he's really fallen off with the offense, obviously.
This your boy, right, Reid?
Dude,
This is
DJ
Reid's
Moore.
boy.
Listen, a buy window might be opening up for DJ Moore. Like, I might be throwing it on offer before the end of the year if he keeps up like this.
And good luck. I mean, I've talked about DJ Moore with Ceedee every day, I think, and we don't.
I was keeping up today. I think they said that Sam Darnold's out multiple weeks with a scapula injury. I think they said PJ Walker is going to be in there for at least the next 2 to 3. So we'll see how he does.
I think that could definitely help him.
It's not going to
Can't
hurt.
hurt.
I mean, I think that that's the perfect landing spot for Deshaun in the offseason, right? Like, I couldn't think of a better spot
What's that?
for Watson
What
to
team?
Carolina.
Jackson for some reason, but yeah, probably right.
I mean, the rest of that team is just loaded. But if you're not able to score because your quarterback, he's
That
really
would be
Man, I
an
was thinking-
interesting landing spot.
I was
What was
thinking
that?
Steelers for Watson.
That would be one too. Yeah, Bradley's smiling.
Nah, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm
If
not
Aaron
trading
Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, I'm going to throw a fit.
That would be insane. I'd love that so much.
I was kind of looking at Siggy's team, just like top to bottom, and him having Taylor and Harris it's really shaping up. I know the rest of his roster is not great, but those 2 corner pieces are pretty huge to have.
I could see Siggy winning 1 game the rest of the way, or I could see Siggy winning like 5 of his next 6 and sneaking into the playoffs. Like, yeah, I can't figure out his team.
Just the way he likes it.
Yeah. Because you're right, Austin. He's got the 2 running backs that are gonna put up numbers pretty much every week just because they get the ball so much.
Mhm.
His wide receiver just iffy. I mean, Pittman's been pretty good, but they're just super inconsistent.
Marquise Brown's actually done pretty good too. And he's only had one to 2 bad games all year, really. Even with Bateman back, he still saw 14 targets and 12 targets the last 2 games with Bateman back.
Damn, he's only 5'9".
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he should, but
He knows.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to depend on if Siggy can start the right lineup because he's leaving a lot of points on the board every week.
Yeah, and I mean, I was giving him crap about Brown, so like when Bateman comes back, Brown's not going to be worth as much, which I was thus far wrong. And then we got into it about Sutton for when Judy came back.
Oh yeah,
and
he is down the toilet since that happened.
Yeah, he's got 4 and 2 targets, so can't really start him.
Not that Judy's doing that great either, though. Like, just that offense hasn't. That passing game hasn't. Well, Teddy did put up like 25 fantasy points in a decent game, so I don't know what's going on with that offense.
I think
Judy saw double the amount of targets that Sutton has since he's been back. He saw 4 and 8, so 12 total. And Sutton saw 6 in the last 2 weeks.
I am a little worried about enough targets going around for Fant in that offense, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Just looking at Tom's depth again, like
I don't know who he's even going to start week to week. Like,
yeah,
he's
you look at
considering playing Waddle, and Waddle has been very solid.
Well, it's like he's got Cooks, Harris, and his flex. All right, well, Godwin was on a bye, so he goes in, he starts. James Robinson was hurt. Well, he would start, and then you've got Connor too. So
Don't forget about
Kareem Hunt.
yeah. I was gonna say that.
who?
Kareem Hunt, wherever he is.
Oh yeah, on IR. Holy crap! Yeah, he's got a lot.
But he has all second round picks, so I wonder if he can make a run at getting maybe a first or two.
Yeah, maybe make a mega deal to like get a stud player. But it's like you look at his lineup and he doesn't even he has no weaknesses anywhere. So it's not even like he needs to trade for anyone. But yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He could probably turn Waddle and a couple of those seconds into, I don't know, someone like Stephon Diggs.
Oh, don't give him any ideas, Reid.
A couple though, you think not a chance? You know how much Riley paid for him?
No more than that,
Yeah.
but things changed.
Probably would.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna give Riley anything, I'm gonna give him like Robbie Anderson in a second because that's worth Jamar Chase. So.
Just saying.
Uh,
Could be
Do you
something.
want to speak to this matchup anymore?
Yeah, Tom's got hot at the right time now, so it's not to screw up the preview for the matchups next week, but Collin playing Tom next week is huge. Either Collin and Tom are going to be tied, or Collin's going to be up 2 games and Tom's going to be in a tough spot. Because me, Bradley, and Ehi are all sitting in a spot right now where we're looking decent. I mean, any of us could drop a game and start feeling vulnerable, but if Collin's able to beat Tom, it's really going to almost set apart the playoff teams from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
you're
go,
right.
Collin. Let's go, Collin.
Oh, what are you trying to say?
I'm saying I want to make sure that I'm not worried
There's
about
a gap.
playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, it does benefit Austin getting the 5th guy even further away and him falling out of playoff contention.
That's true. It is true. All right, Bradley and Ehi, since you guys are both here, we can talk about this one for a while if you want. But
So
yeah,
I just want to say, I want to thank the haters, namely Evan and Riley. we're through the grapevine that they be hating on my team, so appreciate the hate, the added motivation. But Bradley, you could go ahead and start off if you want.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of good things going on with Cooper Kupp's fan club right now. I mean, Matthew Stafford, just a disappointing game. Although the line did not give him any time to throw, really, except like that 1 or 2 drives in the second half. I don't know why they didn't stick with that, but whatever. So that was a little disappointing, especially when you have a 96% chance to win at the beginning of Sunday Night Football, and then it just falls apart like that. I hate that so much. But what else? It was nice to see Keenan Allen.
Well, Bradley, you do still have a 1% chance to win this matchup. I didn't want to point out, just in case there's a big stack correction.
I appreciate that. That's good to know. But yeah, it was nice to see Keenan Allen have 2 good back-to-back weeks after a couple bad weeks, really. But yeah, I don't know. Still sticking with Michael Carter right now. Derrick Henry 2.0. If anybody has some running backs for sale for picks, let me know.
Elijah Mitchell.
If you'll give me Christian McCaffrey for my leave first, then I'll think about it.
Yeah. I'm just happy I played Reid this week, but hopefully I can at least win that.
Oh, talk about the upset of the century. That's Buster Douglas over Tyson right there. We need it, Reid. Need it.
No.
On Reid.
Oh, and then also my 2 wide receivers there, Sanders and Claypool. Sanders was, I don't know, he had some good weeks, but kind of fallen off now. And then Claypool, of course, he also injured his toe, so who knows if he's playing this week. So more trouble for me, but we'll see.
Bradley, I was kind of going to ask you about Claypool. Like, how is he even getting in your starting lineup at this point in the year? I mean, he's sitting at wide receiver 44. I know he missed a game, but I mean, he's he's struggling. It's all going to Deontay.
I mean,
It's not going at all. Have you thought about subbing in somebody else here and benching him, or what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, after last night I have, but I mean, he said, I mean, 9 isn't terrible. It's not good, but I mean, he said 22, 15. I mean, he's obviously like boom or bust, just like your boy Tyler Lockett, but
Hey,
um,
he doesn't
I don't
have
know,
quite
yeah.
that ceiling. Let's hit the brakes there. He doesn't have that ceiling.
But yeah, I mean, obviously now he's probably not going to be in my lineup this week, but even if he does play, but yeah,
Are you more intrigued by him going into next year with potentially Juju leaving then?
yeah, I'm hoping that's the hope.
Right, we're hoping he leaves.
Yeah, who knows, really, honestly.
That boy ain't never leaving, really.
I feel like
I mean,
or
the only way he touched the. Sorry, what?
Oh, I was gonna say for Claypool because Juju's been out, so I think it's more dependent on Ben for Claypool because
in the offensive whole. I agree.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say the only way he touches the ball now is either those stupid jet sweeps, or
Those
just
little screen passes.
that, or just chucking it 50 yards downfield. And obviously,
Gotcha.
that really works.
He had
so.
like a 25-yard catch at one point, but that was like the only thing he did. I felt like.
Yeah, that was like for the first quarter too, so I was kind of nervous at that point.
It was like the first. Yeah, it was like one of the first plays too. But yeah, that's the only way he touched the ball. So I don't know. It's not good right
It's
now.
just weird too, because I mean, last year he scored quite a few touchdowns. Like he was boom or bust, but his booms were him scoring touchdowns. I mean, he's only got one touchdown this year. He's huge. I mean, he's 6'4", 240. He's a not small. So it's kind of weird for you to see only one touchdown from him being that large, and you know he can catch it too. So
yeah. One game last year he had like 4 or 5 touchdowns just in one game. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Who was that?
That was against the Eagles.
Oh,
I remember texting him about that.
Yeah.
Bradley, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems almost inevitable a big trade of some sorts is on the horizon for you in the next couple weeks, right?
That's the plan, but we'll see how it goes. I'd rather it be for a running back, but
Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, that's
I was
the
going to
plan.
ask about that. So you obviously want a running back, even though you're somewhat comfortable with Carter. Do you have any plans to do anything with your flexes? Are you going to swap out? Who are you going to swap out Claypool for? And are you just going to stick with Emmanuel Sanders?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Sanders right now, just because that offense, they just pass it a ton. So I'm hoping he can continue to get targets. But I don't know. I like hopefully, I don't know. I don't know if Hopkins is supposed to be back this week or not, but I don't know. I like Kirk. He's very very consistent, even though he doesn't get a ton of targets. But I mean, right around 10 with that one game. But I don't know. That's who I'll put in for Claypool.
Yeah, you got something I don't have: patience.
Yeah, I mean,
a 1% chance. So don't take that victory lap yet.
That's enough with mine.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't talk about your team that much.
Oh yeah. Well, Mahomes, another letdown, but obviously we gave him the boot. Wasn't cutting it. All about what have you done for me lately, and so.
Go.
No, but Devontae Booker, he came in clutch again. I think he had a decent game last week too, if I remember correctly, but I'm not 1,000% sure. Yeah.
15.
Yeah,
16.
16. Yeah, so he's been clutch the last couple of weeks, helped me eke out these, even the last 3 weeks, really 14. Eke out these dubs, and then Chubb obviously went off, so that was huge. But of course, he catches vid now. I just can't catch a break, like Bradley says. So of course he's got COVID now, so he'll probably miss this next game. But
he's back. He should be back.
Who?
Chubb.
He's vaccinated.
Oh yeah, but he still has to test negative twice.
Yeah. Right.
So, but yeah. I didn't hear that. You cutting out, Reid. Your connection's bad.
It's probably 50-50, I guess. I'd say there's a decent chance he suits up Sunday.
Is it like, do people that are vaccinated, do they test negative that like frequently? Like right after getting COVID?
I mean,
I
it
mean,
also
I don't
you
know.
could have had like a false positive too.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean?
Huh.
Like I feel like a lot of people who are vaccinated have been getting like it's either it's right away or they actually haven't. It's like a week. So who knows?
Yeah, but anyway,
Oh,
at least I got Fournette coming back off a bye, so and then I had Booker obviously, so oh no, I mean Booker's oh wait, because Booker and Saquon on a well no, they are Giants on a bye next week? I forget. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
are.
are.
Shoot.
Uh-oh.
I just for some reason I was thinking I still had two backs, but no, I'm actually kind of screwed now. Didn't think about that. So yeah, I got some things to figure out as soon as this call ends. Yeah, I got Fournette back next week. Obviously, he's going to be a play. Let's see, rough game
Because
last week.
Salvin
But it's
Ahmed, the Ahmed can play for you.
Or
Yeah,
Gore. If CH isn't back, you might be able to plug Gore in.
No, he hasn't been looking. He hasn't done much. Well, at least last week he didn't do much. So I don't know about that. I might. What was that? I was thinking about trading for someone, but yeah. Anyways, you want to scroll back up real quick, Collin?
Oh, well, I mean, you could. Well, no, Felton's on the COVID list too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh yeah. So Galladay's first game back, he only put up like 4 points, I think, but played half the snaps, about 50% of those. He escaped the game with no further injury, so I'll take that anytime with Kenny T.
Accomplishment year today.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Same with Julio too. Both him and Julio both put up duds, but they came out injury, so they both basically put up like 15 points apiece. And Waller, it was nice to see him bounce back and perform like a TE1. And
I
then,
think it's probably more likely that he does that pretty commonly the rest of the year with Ruggs
oh,
gone.
I feel like that too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, 11 targets. Obviously Carr does target him a lot, but he had a slow couple weeks.
Right, that's the
Jarvis,
most
he
targets
just
you saw since week 1. So
yeah. Jarvis just laid a fat egg. Although I'm still a little bullish on him just because with OBJ gone down, I still think he can see a decent number of targets. And it's not like he's like a deep threat or a big body receiver. He just does little short intermediate routes. So I'm hoping he'll get some targets, get some catches. Tyler Conklin, this was just kind of like a plug and play, especially because because of the tight end PPR premium. So I figured my only other options were about Nico Collins or Traquan Smith. And I figured they'd all put up the similar numbers, but the full PPR would give Conklin the edge, which it seems like it did. So
that Patriots defense carried you to a dub here, eh?
exactly. So don't tell that Reid. He doesn't believe in rostering two defenses. So
my Buffalo Bills defense does just fine being my only one.
Yep, but yeah, any more commentary on my team or any questions or anything?
I was gonna say, because you brought up the fact about Jarvis, Collin, I should have brought this up when you were showing your team. But do you think Peoples-Jones is the new one, or do you think it's gonna be Jarvis, or do you think it's someone else, or that they don't have one?
I don't think they have a one. I mean, I'd say Peoples-Jones is the number one on the outside, obviously. But
I guess I should ask, who do you think gets the most targets rest of the year on the team?
Jarvis.
I think Lane. Yeah. I would not start any Browns wide receiver. Like, that offense is based on the run. No wide receiver is going to get a lot of targets.
Yes.
But, all right. Oh, last matchup.
The best one of all. We saved the best one.
Yeah. What? Because you started Tyrod, who only got 8 points and still won by a pretty good lead.
Fields was in my lineup originally, and had I started Fields, I think I would have had 100% optimum lineup, which I don't think we've seen yet this year. But with very, 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 very minor nudging from Austin and Ehi, because I was like, I had a claim in for Tyrod, and I was ready to take it off, and I asked those two, and they thought it'd be worth giving it a go. That's why I started Tyrod over Fields. But a very satisfying victory, and I've been manifesting it for weeks. And now I hope I don't win another game the rest of the year. It was really fun to effectively end someone's season and end someone's seasons whose draft pick that I own. So, I love you, Riley.
Yeah.
Nothing against you, but that was a very satisfying victory that I've been waiting for weeks, and everything just lined up absolutely perfectly. I think I had 4 guys set their season highs.
So, Reid, what kind of stuff did you have to bring up in the locker room just to make sure you guys were mentally prepared for this kind of game?
Well, no, it was the fact that, a lot of NFL teams, they don't look ahead to the next matchup unless they have a bye. But we've been game planning for this matchup since about week 4. So we've had 5 weeks of preparation to know exactly how to go about this. And so that's what it takes, man. You just got to really look ahead.
Definitely worked out for you.
I mean, you had the ghost of Najeem Hines show up in this matchup. He hasn't seen 19 points combined since week 3. So that's insane for him to drop a 20-piece almost. Crazy.
I don't think you combined for that the last 5 weeks.
Yeah. That's pretty hilarious.
Oh, you saw Elijah Moore finally. I mean, he's been what? Reid, what was that stat you brought up from Twitter that one time? He is the highest targeted.
It was like the highest percentage open downfield rate. And Elijah didn't even go up. Like, he did fine. He had a good week. And actually, I'm really encouraged by that performance. The fact that the Niners were down by so much and he didn't get game scripted out of the game. He still had the same snap count. He was effective on his runs. He over doubled his catch count for that week, and Jeff Wilson was active. He might have only scored 11, but like, that was a super encouraging performance.
You're going to have to clarify on your Elijahs, man, because you got 2 up.
Sorry, Elijah Mitchell. He had Elijah Mitchell up on the screen.
Yeah.
But no, Elijah Moore finally, he paid 3 second-round picks for a guy, and I haven't expected him to produce this year, but finally, then he picked the perfect week to do it, to produce. I think he might have scored more that week than the whole season combined, or pretty darn close.
Yep. Pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Even Ayuk came out, and that was promising to see. He got 93% of the snaps. That's huge.
Yeah, Ayuk had his best week of the year. Not even close. Well, I guess he had that 12-point matchup week 3.
You really had to get on the conference call this week and meet with a couple different coaches just to make sure that your players were ready.
This was perfect. This was my Bills defense showed up like usual. Not quite like the Cleveland defense did, but
and not just the fact that two unsung heroes came in to save the day, but it happened on a Thursday night, like the first game of the week when everyone had eyes on it, and we could just feel Riley's pain.
Well, I think it was the first. No, it wasn't the first 3 touchdowns. It was the first 2 touchdowns of the game. It was Najeem Hines and Elijah back to back. It's just, that's a dagger to the heart if you're Riley on a Thursday night matchup. And to add on top of that, Riley's also out of it in our redraft league after this week. He got beat again, so I think his fantasy is effectively over. And
you were about to say his luck has run out.
The lucky 7 dynasty. Jared Cook came in off the waiver wire after Hawkinson was on bye and Fant went on the COVID list. He performed well. Like, everyone except for my quarterback, I'm really proud of all of them. And Tyrod's hitting free agency next week, or tomorrow. Sorry. Tyrod's hitting free agency tomorrow. Screw that guy. But everyone else, I'm so proud of you.
How many points did Fields put up?
23 or 24? 23?
23. That'd have been another 15. That'd have put you up to 150, Reid. That'd almost been like he's average.
Yeah. It honestly, magical week. A little worried that now some of my guys have been waiting on all year might actually be good. Oh, Devontae Smith put up his best performance of the year too. That was another season best.
You're right.
Got Chris knocking on your door now, though. He wants that number 1 pick.
Yeah, so I'm a little worried that now I might rattle off some wins to end the year. I still think my 1.01 is relatively safe. Like, I definitely have more faith in Chris winning a couple games and Evan winning at least one more, especially when I play them both yet still this year. But after a performance like this, I am a little worried that maybe my team is getting a little too good. Still bad. Still bad. More good than I
That's
wanted to be.
hilarious.
But we'll see.
That's hilarious.
I think
I hope Reid just wins like I don't know how many games he got left, but just wins like 6 of the last 8 and just like ends up with like a mid pick.
We have 6 weeks left.
I really
5
hope
out of
Riley
6.
doesn't watch this because he's gonna like he might just freaking jump off the bridge over in Seattle if he does because this is like as bad as it gets right here.
that's what I was gonna say. Riley's in a really tough spot because he's got a lot of not old guys, but they're near their
They're in their prime.
got-
They're in the very thick of
He can't do much. He's either just gotta have to stand pat or sell low. And I mean, I don't think standing pat's the worst thing for him because he does still have a good team. It's like coming in the year, we all thought he'd be a playoff team for sure. Like I remember after the Diggs trade, everyone's like, unanimously decided Riley was one of the top teams. But he just had a bad year for whatever reason. But I mean, I think he's still got a solid roster.
Yeah, I think standing pat's probably the smart thing. I know I would not have the discipline to do that, and
Facts.
other people in here that would not. But I think Riley probably does.
What are you talking about? Bradley's held on the 3 first-round picks.
Bradley and Evan.
Oh yeah, Bradley's who we're talking
Bradley
about.
and Riley
Bradley
seem
would
like a match made in heaven.
What'd you say?
You and Riley seem like a match made in heaven to work out a trade. Like it seems inevitable that it's going to happen.
Yeah, I can feel it too.
Well,
I don't know.
Riley
I
mean-
Stonewall Jackson. That should be his nickname over here.
What?
His nickname should just be Stonewall Jackson because he doesn't move. Whatever he wants, that's what he's gonna get, or he's not getting anything. He's not moving. He's not budging extra $2 fab on it.
It's facts.
But he's in a
Eddie-
very tough spot. Like I wouldn't know what I'd do if I were in his situation. I have no idea, especially not having your own first round pick, and obviously I'm not trading it. Like so that's not even really an option to get back. I mean, I guess he really overpaid for it, but yeah, he's in a tough spot.
A first-round pick at all in any year.
Well, yeah, that's also true. But as far as like, it doesn't make sense for him to do a full tank this year because it's not like he's getting a better draft pick because of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tough spot.
Even trying to sell someone like Diggs.
He's not gonna get full value, especially the way people value draft picks in our league. Like,
Yeah, that and Diggs is not young. I mean, he's 27. He's
about to
middle
reach
aged.
28 next year.
So I mean, he's only got 3 touchdowns this year. He's not had really a pop game. His best game's 21 points. I mean, he's kind of in a tough spot right now with even some of his top assets like that. Just not. They're not.
well, and Robinson and Cooper as of late just not performing.
Right.
Yeah, you're not gonna get top dollar for guys.
Yeah.
But the tough thing for first round picks right now is effectively half of them don't even exist anymore. Like they're off the block. You're not getting half of these first round picks. So first round picks are usually tough enough to get out as it is, but now there's really only 15 in circulation, give or take a couple. So that makes it even tougher to come by and to get value out of a guy like Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Austin, you have 2. I have 1. Bradley's got 3 for 2022.
6.
So
Yeah, Bradley has a lot.
Riley, don't you have
Oh,
another first rounder in a different year, or do you just have 3 this coming year?
I have 3 2022 and 3 in 2024.
I got you.
So yeah, those are kind of the 3 teams that would.
Which makes
Be
guys
looking-
like Waddle, talking about Tom earlier, even more attractive because even though it's not a first round pick, it's kind of like you're getting a first round pick guy. If
Right.
that makes sense.
That's a good point.
Good point, Reid.
Anything else on this?
AJ
Back
Dillon needs
up.
a starting job somewhere. I want to see that guy be a bell cow. I love AJ Dillon.
It's good.
I think he'd be solid. I don't think he'd be like elite or nothing, but I think he'd be solid.
No, AJ Dillon ever becomes a starter, top 5 running back.
He's a homeless man's Derrick Henry.
I would
You
Yeah,
reminds me a
feel
little
more
more
hope.
of David Montgomery, but yeah.
he has no lateral
I-
speed, but he has no shiftiness left or right, but he's
Doesn't
strong.
need it. And he
I say
cost
he's
me
working at
footballs.
And what, Reid?
Oh, Reed's never sounded better. What was that?
Never looked better either.
He's got good hands. Like he doesn't have bad hands either. He made a couple cool catches. Like I love AJ Dillon.
He did have a heck of a catch, that tipped ball. Is that what you're talking about, Reed?
Yeah, that and he had one other good catch last week.
He doesn't even look right trying to play running back. Like he
He
just looks
doesn't.
like too big. Like he stands up and he puts his
His
arms
lower
on his
body.
thighs.
I
I'm like,
can't imagine.
bro.
Like, you guys said he had a nice catch. Like I can't like imagine in my head like him doing something athletic and like reaching out and catching a ball. It just
Doesn't-
looks like I don't.
Like he looks like the fifth Transformer or something. Like he doesn't fit.
Yeah, he just looks like the least flexible, most immobile. Like probably can't scratch his back type of guy.
Right.
I can't be mad for getting a 2023 first for AJ Dillon, but like at the same time, still wish I had him because I love that guy.
I'm surprised Riley did that. Not that it was a bad deal or something. I just Dillon not being a bona fide starter yet. I'm surprised someone like Riley pulled a trigger on that. He usually doesn't take like quote unquote risks like that.
Well, he talked about. I don't know if it was last week or maybe it's just we
Yeah, it
were
was
talking
last week.
alone, but he kind of regretted that trade just because I don't think he valued the 2023 pick as much as I don't know. Maybe he would now.
You and only you.
No,
Yeah, what?
no. I think it was
not my
me.
friend for a month.
I got Javonte Williams for that pick, so at least I feel like he'll be good very soon. But
Well, that's
that was
what I'm
tough.
saying. You're the only one that was a hard time getting it like from your hands. Everyone else was pretty obligatory about it. You, on the other hand, it took a lot.
What are you talking about, Reed? You act like
I
you
like
got
that
it.
word.
I got it, boy. Get out of here. Don't act like I was the master.
Yeah,
It cost me
for
Aaron
real.
Jones, and then about 2 months worth of Bradley asking me for the Austin discount.
That's facts. Austin discount is alive and well.
You got.
I-
If
I'm
you guys
still-
just download my free app, it's called Honey. You install it on your Google on your. That's where you get all your discount codes. Just saying.
Oh yeah, you're gonna spam us with emails now. Instead of spamming us with emails, he spams us with trade offers.
Right. Hey, if it gets me Mahomes, it might be worth it.
I'm still waiting on my coupons to come in the mail.
You know what? If you've been reading, there's a lot of logistical stuff out in the Pacific. We're having some issues with all of our supply chains. So
You gotta read the fine print. The fine print. You must accept 3 trade offers with Austin before the year's over, in order to redeem said coupon.
Oh crap!
Hey Reid, what would you give? What would it take for someone to get Laviska Shenault right now? Because I remember
Oh shoot!
the off-season All-Star. You were real hype about him. You wouldn't even accept the 2024 first for him.
Pat
but-
Freiermuth would sound pretty good right now for Laviska. Honestly, like I would definitely. I don't think I'd get this based on the me owning that market for the most part. I would definitely accept the 2023 second for him. But other than that, man, like it's not worth accepting less than that for me at this point. I got to hang on to him until hopefully he shows some kind of life, and if he doesn't, then to the waiver wire he goes in the next couple years, or he gets added to just a trade. You know what I mean? I'm not going to trade him for thirds. He's got too much upside to do that.
Reed, is there any way you trade one of your 2 tight ends?
I don't trade Hawkinson, and I don't trade. I probably don't trade Fant without knowing who's coming to be the quarterback of the Broncos next year, because I still believe in my heart Aaron Rodgers ends up in Denver, and if Aaron Rodgers ends up in Denver, then Fant's going to be a beast.
So do you think Fant is closer to Hawkinson or an average tight end in terms of value?
He's closer to Hawkinson. With his age, his athletic ability, and his upside with a different quarterback. Now, if Aaron
What about
Rodgers
what
was
about
signed
what about
somewhere
an
else,
average quarterback? Just like a Kirk Cousins.
oh, Kirk, that's tough.
I think another thing is they have Judings. Well, Sutton's a free agent, so who knows what happens there. But they do have
Yeah,
two wide
Sutton
receivers
can
on it.
leave. I mean, Judy can stay there, whatever. I mean, Aaron Rodgers made people think Bob Tonyan might be a really good tight end. Like, think what he can do with Noah Fant.
Bobby Tunyon.
That's true.
You
So,
wanna,
Fant's a pretty firm hold for me right now, just to see what happens for next year.
we go into the next week's big matchups, Colin?
Yeah, Evan didn't send me his power rankings, so we'll just
Seriously?
ignore that. We
Hit him with a text
can
message
guess
real quick.
he's not gonna.
Nope. I'm doing it. It's what I came here for.
Okay, we'll see what he says.
So
Yeah, so
you guys also all have to text in the chat and ask where the power rankings are. You gotta really spam him.
All right. All right, so yeah, next week, yeah, Tom and I are for the matchup of the week.
That's
Bradley's got
huge.
Reid.
As I mentioned on earlier, like your game versus Tom, I would honestly say is the match of the year so far. Matchup of the year.
Yeah, no, it probably is. You and Siggy, that's a good one still. Ehi and Chris, I mean, Chris, you never know.
I'm gonna be
We'll
missing
see
my
that.
team again, so yeah, I'm not exactly confident about that.
Yeah, that could be one. And then Riley and Evan, like, I mean, that no one really cares. It's like
that's the pity bowl.
That's the battle for what, the 103 right there?
Yeah, like 103, 104. So it's not even the top pick, and
Come on, Evan. Please. Well, although, like, Riley's got people on bye, so you have a really good opportunity here. But didn't you have someone hit COVID or get injured or something? Or no? Or Evan's not on the call. I'm sorry.
You idiot.
I don't know if he did or
Something
I don't
happened.
know.
Evan.
Yeah, so but a couple intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, Riley's got a
you
couple people on bye, so it could be an interesting matchup.
hopefully, Collin, if you lose to Tom, how will you be feeling about the season going forward? Your chances to make it in.
Man, I'll be nervous because Tom's team probably scares me the most out of anyone right now, and so if he beats me, and he's gonna keep winning. My schedule's pretty tough, like the next 5 or so weeks. So
I actually looked it up, Colin. All of us have basically the same strength of schedule rest of the season. Every person that's coming for playoffs. Like, nobody has Reid, Chris, or Evan more than twice. And nobody has them less than twice. Like, everybody has them twice. Two of those three.
I was gonna say I have Reid.
You have a pretty tough strength of schedule, Colin. You have like two of us scrubs, and then you have a pretty hard rest of the way.
But I think everybody has Reid.
I don't play Chris or Evan twice. I only play Reid twice, so it's whatever. But
you got me or somebody else, don't you? Or you have two of us the rest of the way, is what I'm saying.
no, I mean I've got Tom, Ehi, Bradley, you, Austin, Ceedee, and then the playoff. So
yeah,
that's what I was saying. I mean, everybody's got about the same strength of schedule the rest of the season in terms of rebuilding teams versus competing teams, I think.
No, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, we all play each other. So.
Not that everybody's giving up the same amount of points. I'm over here giving up less than everybody in the league by quite a margin.
Yeah, we need your defense. What do you say?
We actually play on Heinz Field. That way, that it's it's unlikely that you can make a field goal.
Just stop.
Field goal advantage.
Cut your losses, Austin.
Bradley, why is it so hard to kick on that field?
I don't think it's as hard as anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
It used to be because there was one end that was open and the other end was filled by the scoreboard. But they added like mini scoreboard on the one like side end kind of that was open. So I don't think it's as hard anymore. I haven't seen anything like that, but it definitely used to be a lot harder.
I heard something about that today. Like they have one of the hardest stadiums to kick in, so I wasn't 100% sure why.
Yeah, I don't really know the stats. I haven't witnessed anything terribly hard recently. I know it used to be a lot harder, but I don't know.
Austin, just make sure you take care of Siggy next week. Make good use of Patty.
I can try to do that. If I beat Siggy for you, I did. Are you clinched? I mean, it feels like it.
Yeah, we're not gonna do. Evan just texted me. He's like, do you have the power rankings from last week? So I'd have to pull up the PowerPoint.
No, it's all right. We don't have to.
Oh no, we're doing this. We're getting this content.
No, I gotta let the dog out. So I'm gonna get off here.
Collin,
Yeah,
before you leave, Max Vincent said that he loves you and hello.